We are live. Welcome to another episode of Project 90. My name is Antonio, and I'm here with, as always, my brother wearing that Mexico jersey, Marco Munoz. Marco, how you doing, brother?
What's cracking, man? Anticipating these games because, man, not having games is
Yeah,
kind of. I feel like I'm just shoved in a corner waiting for the next game to start. I missed the group stages.
I know, man. I missed that daily just who's playing today. 3 games on the schedule, even 4 games on the schedule.
Yeah.
We were so spoiled. Um, but Marco, this weekend, obviously, we have one of the biggest games, not only in soccer, not only in football, but in sporting history, right? The biggest global sporting event to ever grace humankind. In my opinion, the biggest game of all time, the World Cup final. Spain versus Argentina. Okay. Now, if you're listening to this right now, we're going to give you that score prediction at the end of this video, so stick around. Before we give you that prediction, though, I'm gonna drop on Marco a nice trivia question that's in regards to the World Cup final. So stick around for that as well. Maybe you know the answer, maybe Marco doesn't. We're gonna find out. Um, but yeah, this weekend, man, the biggest game in history, right? FIFA World Cup final, Spain, Argentina. And I thought before we dive into what our predictions and our sort of take on this game, I think it's good to maybe look back at how both of these teams sort of got to the final, right? Their sort of their road to the final. And I want to see if you notice what I noticed, right, between these two teams. So I'm going to start with Spain, right? In the group stage, they opened up with Cape Verde 0-0, which was a shock, right? Right out the gate, 0-0,
Yep.
with the complete underdog of the tournament. Second game, 4-0, they beat Saudi Arabia. Third game in the group stage, 1-0 against Uruguay. Okay. Moving on to the round of 32, Spain beat Austria 3-0. Then in the round of 16, beat Portugal 1-0. In the quarterfinals, 2-1 against Belgium. Semifinals last week, Spain versus France, 2-0 Spain. Okay. Obviously reaching the final now versus Argentina. Now, Argentina, a little different, right? They opened up the group stage 3-0 versus Algeria. Okay. Then 2-0 versus Austria. Then 3-1 versus Jordan in the group stage. Okay. The round of 32, 3-2 versus Cape Verde, which we watched together. That game was wild, right? We actually, for a second there, thought Cape Verde might pull off the impossible. Did not happen, unfortunately. After that, in the round of 16, Argentina versus Egypt, right? Another game where Argentina sort of almost lost it there. They won 3-2. Okay. Quarterfinals, Argentina, Switzerland, 3-1. And then obviously in the semifinals, 2-1 versus England to reach the final versus Spain. Now, I see here, obviously, Spain, Argentina, they both won, right? They made it to the finals. But the biggest difference that I notice, well, maybe I should ask you, what's the biggest difference you notice between
The
Spain,
opposition, the opposition, the opposition, the opposition.
the
So let me
opposition?
let me put it this way: Spain was eighth grade playing against seventh graders,
Oh, boy.
while Argentina was eighth graders playing against fifth and sixth graders.
Okay.
Right? So I don't see any top 10 teams, any I don't even know, top 15 ranked teams during the entire process outside of the semifinal.
Okay.
So if that's what you're referring to, it's the opposition and the caliber of the opposition.
That personally is not what I'm referring to, but that take right there, I think a lot of people share the same sentiment as you. And it's been talked about from the start, as soon as the brackets came out, right? It's how much easier the road seemed for Argentina to the final, which I think is a valid argument, right? Sometimes it's easier. You play easier opposition than other teams. So either way, though, they both made the final, right?
Yep.
They won their games. But what I'm alluding to is more so Spain, they only conceded 1 goal all the way to the final. Okay. Argentina, look what they've conceded: 1 goal against Jordan, 2 goals against Cape Verde, 2 goals against Egypt, 1 goal against Switzerland, 1 goal against England. Okay. So what does that tell me? That tells me that Argentina might not be as defensively sound as we're thinking, right? Although they have great defenders, they've obviously conceded a lot of goals. So when I look at Spain, I see their attack, you know, that's maybe a big factor for people picking Spain in this finals, not only how they play, not only them having a good team, but maybe the fact that they've only conceded one goal, right? What do you think about that?
We were kind of talking about it in the previous match, the previous semifinal, where the defenders pushed up quite a bit. And even on the latter part where Scaloni was going all in, I mean, you put in Otamendi,
Yeah.
who not going to give you much defense,
Mhm.
right? So I think that's just the style of play that they have.
Yeah.
But to your point, I wasn't thinking about the goals. I was just thinking about the results and the opposition. But no, yeah, valid point.
Mhm.
Spain with quite a bit of clean sheets. I think you have had mentioned it in one of the previous episodes. I don't know if it was 4 or 5 clean sheets.
Yeah, yeah. And it points to maybe Kubarsi and Laporte, which we've seen through the tournament. Maybe Spain hasn't played their greatest, style or greatest football, you can say, in these games. But yet, nonetheless, they've kept the clean sheets and they made it to the final. We saw Argentina sort of struggle against Egypt, Cape Verde, right? And even like with England going down and having to come back and win the game, essentially. So, to me, it's just an interesting sort of point of view to see them coming together now. I think personally for Spain, Spain's best chance to win this game is going to come from if these three players in particular start the game number one and have the game of all games, right? And for me, those three players, number one is Rodri in the center mid, Lamine Yamal. Okay, we've talked about him over and over. He has not come to life yet, but God, we all know when he does come to life, he can really control a game and absolutely just torment the other team's defense, right? So if
And
Lamine
before you say
Yamal,
anything,
yeah,
is it third person Nico Williams?
the third person is Nico Williams, is exactly who I'm going to say, because if we look back at the Euros, Spain was so dangerous, and it was because of the two wings, right?
Yep,
Lamine
yep.
Yamal and Nico Williams. Now, we know for Spain, he's back, he's healthy, he has not started every game, he has not played the entire game, but I think finally now he's come back from injury. He has gotten minutes, right? And I think that De La Fuente is maybe not certain, but I think he's highly considering starting Nico Williams. And I think if Lamine and Nico Williams play and they have a good game and Rodri really like dominates the center of the field, I actually think Spain might have a better chance of winning this game than Argentina, which is sort of changing on what I've thought previously. But when you look back at the Euros, it's kind of hard to deny that Spain is, I mean, they're dangerous up top. And going back to the goals conceded throughout this tournament, you're not playing Cape Verde anymore. You're not playing Egypt with just Mo Salah and some other good players up top. You're playing with like some world class attackers against you now, right? So I don't know. What do you think Nico Williams is going to
No, yeah,
start?
I agree.
Yeah.
I actually thought you were going to say Pedri is going to continue to be on the bench, and Fabian Ruiz, who I think has won the spot, was going to be the change in the starting lineup. But oh yeah, good point. Going back to the Euros, when you have Nico and Lamine on each side, you kind of have your hands full with those guys, and you forget about the strikers up front,
Hmm.
which are going to leave those guys wide open. And to your point, Argentina has conceded quite a bit of goals, and
Yeah.
this can be definitely one of those games where if Nico Williams does start and they are having the game that we think they're going to have, Argentina is going to be gaining from everywhere.
Yeah, I agree. And going back to now, obviously Argentina's conceded quite a few goals this tournament, but they've also scored quite a few goals, right? So looking at Spain, you got Kubarsi. He's only 19 years old. He's a young guy. It's his first World Cup. He was not on that Euro team that won the tournament, and um, Laporte obviously is more experienced, but the fact that Argentina have a deadly attack, I think their strength as a team definitely comes in their attack. It's pretty much saved them the last like three games. So it's going to be interesting, I think, seeing their attack go against Kubarsi, Laporte, Pedro Porro, all these guys, Cucurella as well. Um, and yeah, it's just going to be, can they keep another clean sheet? I don't know. It's hard to say. So we'll
What
see.
about for the sorry to cut you off. What about for the Argentinians?
Hmm.
Right? Is Simeone going to start again, or did he start against England because it was a physical first half, and
Yeah.
he's a physical player. He's like a freaking pit bull.
Yeah.
So, does he stay in the lineup, or do we see some adjustments there?
I think particularly against England, it's English style is very fast, very physical. I think Simeone fits that perfectly, right? Especially Argentina's style. It's very rough, it's very aggressive. I think against England, he was perfect. Me personally, though, I think he might not start this one. I think actually Nico Gonzalez is going to get the start, and if that means Simeone coming out, maybe not. Maybe he does start on the right, but I think out of the wingers and attackers, I think Nico Gonzalez is going to start this game just because of the impact he made in the last game versus England. Um, but then with Argentina, of course, there's Leo Messi, right? Arguably one of the greatest players of all time, if not the greatest player. And going back to back, talk about having experience now. Second World Cup final in a row. He's been in 3 World Cup
Mhm,
finals.
mhm.
Argentina, most of their players have already been in this position. For Spain, for a lot of them, it's the first time in a final in a game of this magnitude. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I sort of think it's going to come down to their star players, Messi's, Lamine, Nico Williams if he plays, Julian Alvarez, Rodri, for Argentina, Paredes, Enzo Fernandez. Like these guys, they need to have like the game of games, right? Because the better team on the day obviously is going to win this game. And to me, who wants it more, right?
We're forgetting about one guy that can just change it off for Spain.
Who's that?
Marino.
Oh, Mikel Marino, man.
Dude,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
guy, I see him on the score sheet.
yeah. You see him coming on late?
I think so, man. He's been the right super sub.
He is the right super sub, and to sort of counter off that, Martinez, right? Lautaro Martinez.
Yeah,
The super subs of super subs, both of them, right? And
correct.
they've both delivered coming on late in the game, right? So like if this game ends up maybe a 1-1, and let's say it's like the 70th, 75th minute, I can't see either coach not putting them on, right? Based on what we've seen already in this tournament. But man, starting wise, I think the lineups are going to stay for the most part the same that we've been seeing. They haven't really changed them too much. Interesting for Spain though is Gavi. I actually thought he was injured and couldn't play or was had some sort of injury. He's just been flat out just been benched
Mm,
by De La
mm,
Fuente.
mm.
Pedri as well has been benched. Sort of shocking, but when you see Fabian Ruiz sort of step in and play the way he has, it's kind of understandable. Um, a question I want to ask you though is who do you think for Spain and for Argentina, if you had to pick 2 or 3 key players, right, to look out for in this final, who would they be?
For me, I mean, we're expecting from Lamine Yamal, and the strikers up top. For me, is Rodri, right? He needs to, like I keep mentioning it. He needs to be solid in the back, which he typically always is, and ensure they're playing coming out from the back versus playing long ball. I'm not a
Yeah.
fan of long ball, so I think for Spain, that's our guy. For Argentina, I mean, a lot of people probably wouldn't say this, but probably need another good game from Julian Alvarez.
Hmm.
It looks like he got a lot of momentum from that banger he scored. So another good game from him up top, which if he has a good game, that means he's going to be available for Messi to give an assist.
Yeah, I agree. They need to be on their game, and I'd expect them to show up and play. Right, these guys know what game they're about to walk into. They know it's the World Cup final. You see the fierceness and the passion from Argentina, and you see the sort of quiet composure but sort of dominance of Spain at the same time. So very interesting clash, very interesting game and matchup. Yeah, this game's really going to come down to I think who controls the midfield, who wins the midfield, can sort of stop the opposing attacks. I think there's going to be chances from both sides, right? Both teams are going to have quality chances on goal. I expect a lot of big saves. I expect this game to get a little chippy, probably. I could probably
Oh,
see
for
some
sure,
cards.
for sure.
Argentina is really good at doing that. A lot of fouls versus in that England game. But yeah, man, I'm really, really excited for this game.
Yeah, and who's to say they won't go to overtime and they go to PKs?
Hmm.
And if they do, I think Debo Martinez, he's shown that he's capable,
Hmm.
and Look what we did last World Cup, right? He can stop some PKs. So, I give them the edge on that.
Yeah, in that last World Cup final, I remember that big save versus I think it was
Yeah.
Thuram, right? Absolutely saved them in that game. So yeah, man, it's an interesting game. I guess in terms of who can win it, who's maybe favorited. I sort of see it as a 50-50. I don't necessarily see one team being the absolute favorite. We saw these smaller teams come up against both of them and give them a run for their money. So really, all that's just talk. At the end of the day, it's walking onto the field, playing 90 minutes, maybe 120, and it's going to come down to who wants it more,
Mm-hmm.
ultimately. That's what I believe. Okay, Marco, look, before we get into our final predictions for this game, right, actual scores, before we get into touching on the third and fourth place game, right, France versus England, that'll be an interesting one. We'll end the episode with that. I want to throw just this trivia question at you and see what you got, okay? So, Lamine Yamal, okay, is the third youngest player to ever play in the World Cup final. My question to you is, who are the top two youngest players to have played in a World Cup final?
I can just think of one.
Who's that?
Pele.
That is correct. Number one, right? 17 years old at 249 days. That was in 1958 versus Sweden. And now why I asked this question is because we always like hype up how young Lamine is, how young Gilberto Moro was, or how young Kubarsi. Mbappe sits at fourth place, notable mention at 19. But sometimes we forget that this stuff's been done. We've seen this stuff, right? So we can't forget about the past. Okay, so that's number one. Lamine's number three. Number two, do you even have a slight clue of who it could be? You need a hint. Maybe you can
Give me a hint.
give you a hint. Okay, well, he's Italian. Okay. 1982 World Cup. He was an Inter Milan legend, whole career at Inter Milan. Legendary defender. I
Why
say
am I?
this name all the time for fun. Just scream it out to the heavens.
Uh,
No
I'm
clue?
drawing a blank right now. I'm drawing a
John,
freaking blank right
it's
now.
okay, dude. It's okay. I think a lot of people might struggle with this one. But the answer, and for me, this is obviously easier. I'm Italian. Giuseppe Bergomi.
Giuseppe.
Giuseppe! Yeah, Giuseppe Bergomi, 1982. They played versus West Germany, right? He was 18 years old, 174 days old. Wow. So imagine being Pele at 17 years old playing in the World Cup final, bro. 17. That's Hilbert. That's Mora. That's literally
Yep.
if Mora would
Yep.
have made the final and started and played and won that shit like Pele did. Legendary. Okay, Marco, I thought that was fun. We're moving on now. This is the big question. This is the big question everyone's been debating. This is the question of questions leading up to Sunday, okay, July the 19th, the World Cup final, MetLife Stadium, two international heavyweights, Spain versus Argentina, Marco. What is the final score of this game? Who's winning it?
As much as I want Spain to take the trophy home, I have to go 2-1 Argentina. They just know how to get their second win going. They know how to get it done. So
Yeah.
Argentina 2-1. Doesn't matter who scores. It's going to be 2-1 Argentina, and they're taking it back to back.
Wow. I think a lot of people are on the same page with you, and I'm on a similar page, but I'm going to say I think Nico Williams plays. I think Danny Olmo has a good game. I think Marino probably comes on. To be honest, I see this going 120. I see this going the distance, not to penalties. I'm going to say a final score, 3 Argentina, Spain 2.
3 goals. Okay.
I think it's going to be 3-2. Yeah, I think Argentina is going to concede, right? We've seen it over and over. I think they're going to concede 2 goals, but I think they're going to go on the other side of the field and just bombard Spain. I think Kubarsi is going to have a very, very, very long night. Cucurella, Pedro Porro, Laporte, Unai Simon's going to have to be on, right? He's going to be getting it from all angles. He's going to be getting it from the left, from the right. Messi, Alvarez. I mean, you got the whole entire Enzo Fernandez be shooting from everywhere. So, yeah, man, we're going to find out. Now, tomorrow, Saturday, right? World Cup Finals Sunday. Tomorrow we have, which is an interesting place to be, right? Is it sadder to, now I'll ask you this. This is a fun question. Is it more heartbreaking to make the final and lose, or to lose in the semifinals and play the third, fourth place game? What do you think's worse?
For me, I always want to make it to the ship. So to me, it would be losing the World Cup. But looking at this third place game,
Yeah.
I don't think France wants to play this game. I don't think England wants to play this game.
Yeah.
It's just one of those games where like, for what? Let's
Yeah.
just go home. It's going to be
Mm-hmm.
one of those games where neither of them really want to play.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think France ends up taking this one.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if England goes home with the third place. I know I ripped Tuchel, right?
Uh-huh.
For making those adjustments and just trying to hold for dear life for 35 minutes. But we can't forget what he did with the selection of the squad, the adjustments he was making, and how he had England deep into the semifinals. We can't forget about that and the caliber of players that they have. But ultimately, I think France is going to end up taking this third place.
Yeah, Tuchel got a lot of shit for this last game, right? And it's kind of crazy because he's done so well with England, and to now everyone just absolutely just tear this guy apart after making a couple maybe questionable decisions in that game. It's understandable to be upset, but he's a top manager, right? He's a top coach. France did not have a good game at all versus Spain. I thought they were way subpar to what they're used to. Interesting though for this game is Mbappe is still tied, I believe, for most goals at this World Cup, right? So it'd be interesting to see how these coaches and these teams approach this game. Do you think they start all their starters, their best lineup, or do you think this is a game where all the players who maybe didn't get much time or any time at all sort of start this game and come on and play?
I think you go with your starting lineup, regardless of being a third place game and you're not playing for the final. It's still a very important game. You're playing for the third best in the world, and then I think we go with the starting lineup. But who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if there's some adjustments there and some players go in.
Yeah, I do. I honestly see France putting in a lot of people who did not play as much. Maybe like Lucas Hernandez, Teo Hernandez. I see them maybe starting. Uh, some of the players who just sort of stayed on the bench, but I fully expect to see I expect Mbappe to go in because I still think that there's some pride there on a personal level. Also for France, right? They want to go into this game and they want to win. I'd say they definitely want to win this game, especially having lost the semifinals the way they did, both of these teams. I think Mbappe, though, he's really chasing that golden boot, right? I think he's trying to get some sort of victory, if you will, for France. But I actually think this is going to be quite an exciting game. I think they're going to come out with full intensity, and I think we're going to have a special treat tomorrow when we watch this third and fourth place game. But you know what? Time will tell. World Cup final this Sunday, Spain, Argentina. Those are our predictions. If you have your own prediction, if you think something else is going to happen, leave it in the comments. Okay, we want to hear what you think about this game. If you're new to our podcast, project90soccer.com, you find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Instagram, TikTok. Project90soccer.com has all of our links, everything you need to know about this podcast. But yeah, we'll be back after the final on Sunday for our match recap. I'm really excited for this game. And if you listen to this entire episode and you're hearing this right now, we appreciate you listening and tuning in. And until the final recap, this has been Project 90.
We're loving the comments. Keep dropping them.
Keep dropping them, man. We love to hear from you guys. Peace.